I'm here with Brad Shoemaker, who brings with him a trip report from planet Sarah.
I don't know if it's on Sarah. I guess it is.
I mean, it would have to be.
Did they ever get off world?
No.
I guess they didn't. They spent all their time building classical-looking architecture. Pretty much. They never built spaceships, did they?
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, you know, if you're playing as the son of Marcus Phoenix 25 years after the events of Gears of War 3, one would then assume it's still the same.
I guess that's true. They didn't tell us any of that. I went to a multiplayer event for this thing. They were not talking story. They were not. I didn't know about. This is all news to me.
Yeah. JD Phoenix.
They were. Yes. Okay.
Son of Marcus.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a '90s game show host.
Yeah.
Kids game show.
Come on, JD. Yeah, this is real. Yeah. So this is
like 10 minutes into this event, somebody yelled, "Oh, come on!" when they got killed.
Great.
Unintentionally, it was good.
Fantastic. So this is the you got to look at the beta of Gears of War 4, which is rolling out on like the.
People will see this, like 4 days after this video goes up, I believe.
Okay.
Like the 18th, I want to say.
All right.
And then, so I think it's that day for your Gears Ultimate Edition owners.
Okay.
And then I think it's everybody.
Right. I assumed it was open.
Like
I guess I don't know.
After that,
but yeah. And so it's just multiplayer. No talk of JD Phoenix and his quest to whatever.
I didn't even get to play human the whole time. I was a locust.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they put out a teaser video showing like some little bits of story. Marcus Phoenix planting a tree. Like this post-war thing. It almost looked like Jean-Luc Picard in his fields at the end of Next Generation or something.
Tending his vines.
Yeah. And then, that kind of intercut with young JD Phoenix there and then him running around shooting dudes because the war has, years later, there is a new threat.
The war's back on because they had to make another sequel.
Or a new old threat or whatever it ends up being. But that interests me a great deal.
Okay.
Like the actual follow-up to Gears 3, even with different characters and that sort of stuff. Like, that sounds cool.
They left some threads hanging.
Yeah, they did.
They never really explained what was going on with that queen.
Right. So they kind of left that open. They tied off some things with Marcus Phoenix, and I think like new characters, but hopefully they'll address some of that stuff along the way. I think there's a lot of potential for Gears story stuff, but none of that was in what you saw.
The multiplayer, on the other hand.
The multiplayer seems like it's a 5-on-5.
It's Gears.
Okay, all right. So
Dude, it plays like Gears.
So it's like Gears of War multiplayer. It's very popular, the Gears of War multiplayer.
It is, yes.
And I feel like it's one of those things that I appreciated at one point and then fell away from in a big way.
People just got too good.
But it's one of those things where it's like the people who like it really like it in a way that then probably forces the developers to never change certain things about it.
Sure. Rolling up and shotgunning a guy is still viable. That is done to me many times.
I mean, like
at this event,
it's a viable tactic, and there are counters for it. But it's one of those things that makes me just not want to play it. But I actually have had a lot of fun with the competitive multiplayer in Gears over the years. It's just one of those things that as soon as all the people that are really good at Gears get in, it's kind of like, all right, well.
I have fun for about a week until it winnows down to just those people, and then I'm like,
it's the week before release.
Just playing. Well, I don't know. I went to this event that was just press, and you'll see how it went. So
so this is you playing.
Yes, we have some footage here. I have brought.
So it's worth noting here up front that you said the game ran at 60 frames per second.
Yeah, well, close. Like they said.
It
will be 1080-60 when they ship. According to them, it's like 50-ish right now.
But then Microsoft provided their own capture devices at the event.
Yes, this was this.
Which capture at 30.
Yes, so the actual game.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, the actual.
I mean, whatever.
Capture hardware is hard. Like, video capture is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yes.
So the game definitely runs smoother than this. This is a mode. This is a mode called Dodgeball.
Okay.
This is the one new mode. They were only showing Team Deathmatch and Dodgeball, which is this, which you can tell by the little 5-way face indicator up in the top left.
That's who's left alive.
So basically, every time your team gets a kill, it brings back one of your dead people.
Okay.
So that's where the dodgeball angle comes in.
Like in dodgeball.
They could have called it ping pong or something. It's sort of like resurrections are ping ponging back and forth from team to team as kills are attained. It's cool. Like. That can lead to, in one case, I think we did a dodgeball round. I don't think it's in this footage, but it lasted like 90 seconds because it was just a complete stomp. It was just enough time for the 5 players on one side to murder the 5 players on the other side. But it also, like, there were definitely a couple of cases of, like, maybe matches that were approaching like 10 minutes, you know?
Sure,
Where
yeah,
just, like,
because the back and forth is going to be...
Definitely some cool situations of like, it was like 4-on-1 or whatever it was, you know, and like that one could eke out a kill kind of stealthily.
Yeah.
And that would bring one of theirs back. And then it goes back and forth. Yeah, so like some kind of neat back and forth stuff. But you can see how fast that round went. Like it's pretty quick.
Sure, but that's a rule change. It's not necessarily a gameplay change.
Yeah.
It does seem like, like we saw some spotting there.
Yeah. Like that stuff has been around, right?
Yeah, and I guess they've since gotten out and kind of talked about like a lot of gameplay stuff, but I guess, well, maybe gameplay is generous. It seems like that they've added a lot of new execution stuff.
Yes, I think you will see one very quick instance of that in this footage from the spectator's perspective.
I was going to say,
So
I was about to take bets on whether it was you doing the execution or getting executed.
It's a bummer. Well, no, I think, we'll
it was
see.
While you were already dead.
Yeah, but so it was a bummer because they wouldn't let us take footage of this, but they had built a little like developer-only sort of tutorial playground.
Yeah.
Where they had little like instances of cover and an enemy set up perfectly to let you practice all the new execution moves.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let us take footage of that stuff because it won't be in the final game, presumably.
But that's stuff like you can execute across cover, right? Or running executions.
Yeah, so the three things you can do are, if you are on opposite sides of cover from somebody, you can just reach over and grab them and pull them over and then knife them as soon as you pull them over.
Okay.
You can also vault over cover from the roadie run. You basically
it's like a running vault. You don't stop and take cover and then vault?
Yeah,
okay.
so you hit B. You run right up to cover and hit B at the last second, and you will kind of just do like a running mantle over the cover.
Okay, that's cool.
And if you connect with them when you're doing that vault, you can then go into the knife execution from there. And then also, this is kind of a variation on that. Also, if you're on opposite sides, you can also go from the cover mantle into the execution.
Oh, okay. All right.
But people are really good at gunning you down when you're running at them when they're behind cover.
Right, yeah.
So I never really found, I never found a situation where I could really pull one of those things off.
It seems like that's a case where you're running up behind someone and want to, or catch them unawares.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be some good situations where those things come into play, but I didn't encounter those in the first couple hours I was playing it.
Whoa, was that the active reload noise? Is it way more dramatic?
I think that was something
maybe
else.
there was a different explosion or something.
So the active reload is on cooldown. If you see that little vertical bar filling up to the right of the ammo.
Yeah. That's weird.
So I'm not real clear on this, but I do know that you can actually active reload a full clip now. Which I think I chronically forgot to do that in this footage because that's not something you think about.
Well, you mean
like you can trip the active reload and get the damage bonus on an already full clip. Is what I was told. And that will start that cooldown over, but it's super fast. It's like seems like it's 5 to 7 seconds, something like that.
Just because I would often, like, I'm a chronic reloader in shooters,
right?
So I was constantly active reloading,
right?
And so I would always have some active reload bullets at my disposal.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's a way to kind of balance that, but.
Yeah, so my understanding is you should kind of be watching that cooldown and just active reloading even when you're full as much as you can.
That's interesting, because I don't know. I guess like at some point I don't necessarily play Gears at a high enough level to know if that change is meaningful or not.
Yeah.
But it's like looking at it from this perspective, that's not the stuff I would change about Gears multiplayer.
Yeah.
But the stuff I would change would probably be the fundamental, like, hey, let's like change the roll-up shotgun stuff because it's just not fun.
Rod Ferguson was there and gave a presentation and fully acknowledged that that's the way that high-level players like to play Gears.
And then, but also like not like, hey, here's some ways that we've built to counter that.
Not really.
Okay.
They are working on better bots.
That's the solution.
They mentioned there will be better bots, and you will be able to play against those.
That's
with your buds.
Was that being presented as a solution to high-level Gears play?
Maybe not.
Was stop playing against humans?
No, I'm not entirely sure if that's how they meant it.
Okay. Was that how it read to you?
That's kind of how it came off to me.
That's weird. But okay.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever. You can't pull the rug out from under your hardcore player base, like.
Sure. Right.
Ooh.
I mean, yes. The franchise is popular enough that people have expectations about how it's played, and at some point, Gears of War is a sport. You can't change. There you go.
You got me. Or no, that was the spectator. Sorry. Yeah. So that's one of the knife executions.
All right. That guy looks kind of lame with his beard and the van bun
fucking
thing.
top knot.
I'm not really a fan.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, that's effectively what those executions look like.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else is new. There was like one new power weapon in this. That's it. That's the drop shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you basically shoot it in an arc like that, and then you can trigger when it drops vertically.
That's cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a neat weapon that I never managed to get my hands on.
Like for a game that's all about cover, that's like a super smart thing to add.
Yeah.
Like that's
totally.
like something that's just like, fuck it, man, drop it down.
But there's still some skill involved in triggering it at the right time.
Right.
You know?
That's neat.
Yeah.
Smoke looks all right.
Yeah. Yeah, like it ran well, it played well, like it was smooth. Felt like Gears. You might notice that I've had a left bumper prompt popping up a lot here.
Yeah,
on my cover.
Is that a cover transition?
Yeah, no, it's I changed to at their behest. I changed to tournament controls like halfway through this.
Oh,
I guess they added that in Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
Which basically just changes the A button to the left bumper. The idea is that you never have to take your thumbs off the sticks to run and roll and stuff like that.
The bumper jumper of Gears of War control
basically
schemes.
that, yeah. And like it took me some time to get used to, but I could definitely see the appeal.
Yeah, all right.
Of having your thumbs at the ready on the sticks constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's. Did they say anything about other multiplayer? I mean, were they really just talking about what's in the beta?
No. They talk about quite a bit of stuff actually. I don't know how much more time we have on the footage here, but
because I'm primarily interested in what their kind of like co-op modes end up being.
Oh, they didn't go into that stuff. This was pretty much all competitive.
Okay.
From what I saw.
Yeah.
They're going hard on esports. Like they talked about a bunch of big improvements to their spectator system.
Yeah.
That let the casters kind of bounce around between specific players more directly and kind of make it look better in a broadcast format.
Okay.
If you're into esports Gears.
I'm not into esports anything.
Okay, yeah,
so
well.
like generally speaking, so like again, I get why they would do that.
Yeah.
It's just not something like that's the sort of stuff that doesn't necessarily make the game better.
Right. Yeah. It's for competitive high level stuff. That's gonna play to a subset of the audience,
sure.
Obviously.
But yeah, obviously that's they've been running stuff, I think, even with Ultimate Edition and even previous Gears games. So it makes sense that they would lean into that stuff. A good spectator mode goes a long way.
Right. Well, the most interesting thing to me about the competitive side of this is the Escalation mode, which is not in the beta, and they didn't let us play. But it's like this super involved, like 13-round mode, where the outcome of each round determines like who gets to make choices about how the next round plays out.
Okay. Huh.
The only example they gave was like, say at the end of round one, the losing team would get to pick, I think they said like which power weapon spawns on the map the next round or something like that. Like the idea is, it's an escalation of like,
yeah.
Winners and losers are choosing how the match escalates as the rounds go.
Sure. Yeah.
But at like 13 rounds, like obviously that's going to be a long ass match.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy trying to do one of those executions. So they didn't let us play that, but it sounded like a little bit more involved, like kind of higher level strategy version of Gears.
That's neat.
Which sounded cool. Although also like something you probably only want to do if you knew the people you were playing with.
Well, it's 13 rounds only if it goes to the maximum, right?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
That thing doesn't necessarily have to be that long.
Right.
So
right. But that sounded
they've
cool.
definitely had game types that have gone long before.
Yeah.
So that's not out of the question.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did they talk about? They're doing free map packs for this thing.
Oh, okay.
I've got the info on my phone if I have time to pull it out here. It's like, I want to say it's new maps every month. The way that they're balancing that stuff, though, is so all the unlocks, they're doing cards. They're doing like...
Right, I was going to say,
they're doing blind box card packs, but we're about to run out of footage here, but maybe we can cut back to cameras and chat a little bit.
We'll talk a little bit.
They're doing the blind box card packs, but that's only for cosmetics. It's for weapon skins, like character costume variants and stuff like that.
Hey, Gears has a long history of being insane on the cosmetic DLC.
Sure.
So
you need to get your leopard skin Nasher.
I need my $100 pack of gun skins, or whatever it was.
So yeah, like they're I'm sure they'll monetize that stuff, but unlike Halo, they're not doing any. Like gameplay relevant stuff that you'll have to pay money for or even burn free cards on or whatever.
Right.
Maps are all free, but the way they're handling that stuff is that they will have hoppers. They will have playlists of maps, and they will actually cycle old DLC maps in and out of those playlists. So it's only going to be a subset of all those new free maps available at any one time, unless you want to pay on a per map basis. So you can basically pay to unlock a map in perpetuity.
Okay.
But if you don't pay for the maps, you can only play the ones that are in like the free playlist at a given time. So.
I guess that's an interesting way to handle it, because then you'll always have a hopper that like you can guarantee everyone will have the exact same content,
right.
And it's not just the base game content.
Right. I can tell you how many maps it is if you give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to
it seems,
handle that.
Especially coming off of Halo. I mean, granted they're different developers, but same publisher.
Yeah, I mean,
this
there's going to be shared learnings there. I'm sure.
This seemed like a friendlier way to, because Halo also did free maps, right? But but the rec cards kind of like changed the way you played the game so much that it was kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
So this is 10 maps at launch, 9 new maps, and Gridlock. If that means anything to you?
That's an old map, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. DLC maps every month. All maps free for public play. Okay, so they didn't say total how many DLC maps are going to be coming, but I think they said, like, it could be 24 extra maps eventually or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, yeah.
But yeah, so free for whatever's in the playlist at a given time.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds sensible. We'll kind of have to see how it plays out, I guess. But that seems like a reasonable way to go.
Yeah, it seemed friendlier and less off-putting than the Halo stuff.
Yeah,
because you can play the game without worry.
Yeah, I mean, I am ready for a brand new Gears of War game. Like Judgment was such a bummer.
Yeah.
And then Ultimate Edition, like remaking Gears 1 just isn't the. Again, like it's because I don't care about the multiplayer side of it. Like they did stuff to the multiplayer in Ultimate Edition, but like I'm there to like see
a campaign,
the campaign, and I would love to see some more like versus AI modes and stuff like that. So I hope that like for as much as they want to invest in esports and do their thing, like hopefully there is some form of like horde mode equivalent or something like that.
Totally, like the game that made that mode popular.
Right, yeah.
Should have a good one.
It'd be great if they kind of returned to form.
Yeah, Gears 3 Horde mode was incredible. I had some incredible moments.
And then Judgment was just like this letdown in terms of what it had. And even Ultimate Edition, I mean, it's being a remake, it's not going to have the same type of stuff in it. So like a good campaign and one of those modes. Yeah. That would be, even if I'm, probably never going to get super deep into competitive multiplayer in Gears ever again, like, that still sounds cool.
Yeah, that would be an appealing package.
Yeah. And it's out in October, right?
Yeah, they announced it's coming out in October. So,
yeah, sure.
Like I said, that beta will be out for everybody here in a week and a half or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess look out for that beta. It'll be coming pretty soon here.
Come on.
Get your do-rags out. Yeah. That teaser trailer, the kid's not wearing it.